Hi, my name's Laura Batante. This is my YouTube channel, My Two Bits. Today we're going to make this really cute little Christmas ornament. It's a penguin and we're using felt. And for the materials that we need today, we have some black, yellow, and white felt, a little bit of 3/8 inch or 9.5 millimeter ribbon, although you could use some felt for this as well. And I'm using embroidery floss, but you could easily get away with thread, no problemo. And I have some glue and I have a little bit of stuffing. And if you don't have stuffing, I put scraps, like the little remnants from cutting this little guy out inside this guy. I could have put more in. I just used what I had because this was my little demonstration one to see how it would work out. And some scissors, and that's all you need. Oh my goodness, that's not all you need. You need this. So I have attached this PDF to the notes for this video. You can also find it at mytwobits.ca. And it's free, and there we go. Let's get started. So I'm using one of these 6-inch square pieces of felt that you can get pretty cheaply at the dollar store in a pack. You get a big pile of them. Here in Canada, you can get it for like $3 for quite a few. And unfortunately, because of his little wings, he doesn't he's a little fat to fit if you just fold it in half, which is a bit unfortunate because that worked out really good for the little finger puppets. But no worries, just hold on to the scraps. I'm sure we'll use them for something else later. And you don't have to double him up like this for cutting if you find that hard to do. I happen to have, these are sewing scissors, so they're pretty good. But if you need to cut them out one at a time, that's fine. Once you lay it down on top of each other, you can tidy up any little problems that you might have had. There's a little issue right there. Okay, so once we get all the pieces cut out, we'll put it together. So I've gone ahead and I've glued the tummy on just because we are going to put some stuffing in here. Don't glue the beak on yet because the beak actually goes over the edge of the face of the penguin, so we don't, and we're going to stitch, so we don't want that to get caught up in the stitching. And we are going to put some feet in, of course, so those go in. And you could, if you want to make them longer, you could totally do that. I'm just going to tuck mine up. And I believe I will start here at the bottom, work my way around, and leave an opening so that I can put the stuffing in. And like I said before, you can 100% go ahead and use just straight thread for this. There's it doesn't matter one way or the other. I've done lots of felt ornaments with kids with just regular thread. It works great. I just like the kind of hominess of the felt. And so we're going to stitch all the way around, and I will spare you, and that's just a straight stitch, and the key is just to try and keep it nice and even. And I will spare you watching me do this entire penguin. All right, so I sewed across the bottom to get the feet secure and all the way around and both wings. And now we're going to put some stuffing in. It's a small space, but you can get your finger in there. And the key is to, of course, grab little bits. And you don't want to overstuff this. It's, we're not making stuffies. We're just trying to give it a little bit of dimension, so it's kind of fun. You don't have to do this. When I think I mentioned in the opening, but I don't always remember. If you hear me repeating myself, it's because sometimes I make several videos because I make a little boo-boo, and if I don't think I can edit it well, I'll just start fresh. So I may or may not have mentioned that when I was making my demo, because I was just using the materials I had on hand, I just used the little extra bits from when I cut out my penguin. I chopped them up a bit small and stuffed them in and used those as my stuffing. But you don't even have to stuff this guy at all if you don't want to. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit more in. It's always amazing how much you can fit in. And you can see as I'm stuffing this that I am going to need probably a little more glue around the, I'm going to get his head up a little bit fuller. I probably am gonna have to put a little bit more glue on the belly. It's being stubborn. When it's stubborn, you can just grab a pencil and shove it in like that. Okay, so we're just gonna sew that up, and then we will glue on his features. All right, so now we are ready to put the scarf on, and you need it to stay sort of down so that there's, oops, room for his beak there. So I like it to kind of go straight across. So that requires it not looking as fabulous as you might hope at the back. It's gonna go like so, but it's the back of the ornament, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to leave the part at this part unglued so that I can tuck this ribbon under, and just to make it a little more easier to work with when you go to put the beak on and whatnot. Okay, now like I said, you can use another piece of felt if you want. I went with ribbon because I thought it would be fun to have a little bit of text, like a little pattern in the scarf. But if you had like a little bit of plaid flannel or something, that would be really cute too. Just cut a strip. And I think I used about 12 centimeters or so for this, and then you just need gosh, I'm gonna say maybe another 10 at most to hang down. So in inches, you're probably gonna need about 10 inches of fabric if you decide you want to do that instead of the ribbon. Oh, you're also gonna need 10 inches of the ribbon. All right, so then we're gonna cut another little chunk here. And I might have cut too much. Get in. And you can just eyeball this and decide how long you'd like your scarf to be. Okay, and then all I did was put some glue here and just under to keep them attached like that. Okay, so I will do that, and then we'll put on his beak and eyes. Don't go crazy with the glue or you'll have a big mess on your hands. This, if you have tacky glue, it's a little bit easier for doing these fabric projects. And my playing around with it has loosened the back, but don't worry about that. You just take your time when you're doing these things. I'm always rushing when I'm making videos because I stop and start a lot, and it does end up taking quite a bit of time to produce a video. There we go, looking pretty good. And I am going to use one of my tricks that I use for paper, and I am going to put a little paper clip on there to hold that while it dries so that we can move on to putting on his beak and his eyes. And I have used googlies for this because I love them, but you don't have to. You could cut out some. Is that one too big? Oh, the decisions. You could easily cut something out of felt, or you could also, before you started sewing, do something like with a French knot or something if you're really good at sewing. Yeah, maybe two different, you know how I love two different sized eyes. I might do that. All right. Or I might change my mind. You never know. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna glue the beak on right now. It'll help hold my scarf down. Whoa, I lost his eyeballs. I'm gonna make this a little bit tighter. There we go. Okay, get rid of those. Oh, those are flying everywhere. Okay, and we don't need it right to the end because we know it goes off. And as I'm attaching this, I'll just say, if you want to make your penguin with a cute little short nose, you can go ahead and do that. It's your craft, so make it your own. Do what you like. You could put his eyes farther apart too. I was sort of put my eyeballs really close together. But again, it's your choice. Okay. He's kind of a bit awkward to work with now that he's stuffed. And also I do have a camera like literally right in my forehead, so it does make this a bit awkward if you wonder why, why sometimes it seems like I'm a bit, I'm having a bit of a challenge. That is exactly why, because it's very hard to see what you're doing when you're trying to film. Okay, so he's looking pretty good. He just needs to dry a bit, and then we will put his hanger on. And you can see that my glue really needs to dry here, so we're gonna let that sit for a bit. Okay, so to finish him off, all I did was take a piece of baker's twine in the red and white to match his scarf and sewed it through the back. And you can see I still have my paper clip on. And I'm sure that you do this already, but if you're making Christmas ornaments, particularly if you're making them as a gift, make sure you put your name on the back and the year you made it, so that it can be a keepsake if you're giving it to your parent or grandparent or another loved one, so that it's it's a nice memory from the years that go by, and every year you can put them back on the tree and remember when you made them. So I hope you enjoyed this craft. We do have so many more Christmas crafts coming up, so I do hope that you will stay with me. And if you liked this video, please give me a like, and please consider subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate it. Thanks very much.